Hi, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Albert and I make videos on music, coding, and lifestyle stuff. Life update, I'm moving and I'm organizing my books. I thought it would be pretty fun to share some books that I like, so I try to organize them by category. Let's go. One of my favorite book piles. I really enjoyed Ready Player One. I felt like I watched a movie in my head when I watched this. Literacy of Dunces. I laughed so much. It's one of the funniest books. I think I'm gonna have to reread this eventually. Pachinko, just a story about a Korean family over decades, right? During the time when Japan colonized Korea. Recently, I really enjoyed short stories by Ken Liu. Very touching, especially The Paper Menagerie. I don't know how to pronounce that. And also The Alchemist. I think I read this book maybe once every few years, just because I want to remember what my purpose is, or just think about what my purpose is in this life. Like what am I after, right? What's my calling, if you will. First stack. This category is more about business. I think my top two favorites have to be Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull and Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Interestingly, I think the biggest pile I had to do with psychology, and Originals by Adam Grant was a great read. TJ Jung, Modern. I didn't really read this. It's funny. It's the Korean version of How to Win and Influence Friends. Butchered that. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Carnegie. In Korean though. It was very interesting to read it in Korean. One of my favorite books, I think, last year was Americana, the 400-year history of America regarding capitalism. It was a fun read. Origins of Virtue, I really enjoyed this book. Mind Where, I read a long time ago. Is there dust here or somewhere? Gosh. I think there's a lot of dust collected from these books. I revisited it recently because I was curious about the fundamental attribution error, which is a very interesting way of describing human behavior, right? We think we act based on innate qualities like my character, my attitude, and whatnot, but actually we're so determined by our situational context. Like a lot of what we do is based on circumstance, our physical environment, more so than okay, I'm this type of person. Great. Next is a category on, I don't know what to call this category, but just different things. I enjoyed Bloomberg by Bloomberg. I don't know, I really enjoyed this book. Tupac, I didn't read this yet. Phenomenal short stories. Not short stories, more op-eds. When Breath Becomes Air. Geez, this is really good. I feel grateful just talking about that right now. And Atul Gawande, I hope I said his name right. One of the biggest takeaways for me reading Being Mortal was that what makes life worth living for you? It could be eating pizza, it could be eating ice cream, it could be watching football games on Sundays. Whatever it is, you want to keep having those things to make life worth living for you. Food for thought. I know I didn't provide a lot of context there, bear with me. Switching up the angle. This set of books are more technical. It was my senior year in college. I wanted to learn more about machine learning. Funny thing, I think I learned more online than by books, technically speaking. I mean, like those technical subjects. I was learning a little bit about accounting because at my previous job, I had to work with accounting and finance teams and I didn't know shit. Not really fun, but I think I learned a lot. What did I learn? iOS programming. I don't know shit about HTML and CSS. I actually learned a lot from this book, but definitely learned a lot more by actually creating websites. Node.js, didn't really learn a lot. But it's cool, actually, I still use it time to time. Okay. One book that I really enjoy and I keep close to me is The Art of Acting by Stella Adler. Just a fun book to think about because I like to think that all of us are acting, not in a way to manipulate other people, but we always have something on and we're playing a character, we're playing a role. And I really like The Art of Acting because it touches on things like movement and how to portray a certain type of personality through movement, for example. The Way of the Superior Man got me started on the whole no fat thing. I really enjoyed this book. One of the biggest takeaways for me was about being unflinching towards going after your goals, and being okay with tension, right? Like being calm despite chaos. And a lot of it has to do with energy, and I really enjoyed this book because of that. Recently, I've been reading The Artist's Way. I can't say I'm really disciplined in this yet because the biggest takeaway for me with The Artist's Way is not only a spiritual connection with God, but also a self-discipline with doing the morning pages. Morning pages are hard because I have a hard time waking up early in the morning. For the next set, it's gonna be brief. They're all Japanese related books. I wanted to become fluent in writing, reading, and talking in Japanese. Yeah, I get shy when I wanna try to talk in Japanese. ちょっと恥ずかしい。でも、日本語をずっと勉強したいです。ずっと勉強したいんです。頑張ります。I have one Korean book called Kosa-sama, and I like it. I have 2 books on writing. This one's pretty cool. This one I didn't finish yet, but ultimately I want to become a better writer. And that's why I started reading these. But the best way to become a better writer is not by reading words, but by actually writing. Lastly, this is it. These are theological books, if you will. Soul Care, I recently did with my small group. My oldest Bible. Conversation with God is a book that I keep close with me because thought-provoking, and I think it really was paradigm shifting as well. So that's it. I hope you guys saw 1 or 2 books that caught your eye or thought, oh, I read that too and I really enjoyed that. If you have any books you want to recommend, please comment. So that's that. I just want to share 2 books at the end that I'm reading right now. I'm reading Geopolitical Alpha on my own because I want to learn more about geopolitics and its effects on financial markets. And I'm reading The Searcher with my girlfriend, Nat. And so far, so good. All right, until next time. Bye.